Hi, my name is Greg Dixon, your Kartra Whisperer, and today I'm going to talk about something that's very common, a common set of tasks that you're going to do in your Kartra account. Uh, Almost anybody gets involved with Kartra because they want to sell stuff or get people to sign up. So, a very common thing is to have an opt-in, a page, a landing page where people land, and then there will be an opt-in for either a mailing list or some kind of a download or sign up for a membership site. And this could be paid. It could be a product. You might be selling a book. You might be selling a membership, or you might be selling an online course. So the basic process is people come and they hit a landing page, they push a button, maybe hold their credit card to the screen, and then they end up on a thank you page, and that also may trigger a welcome email and maybe a subscription to an email sequence. So we're going to talk about the landing page, the button, and the thank you page at this point here. So let's get started. So here's the page. It's under Kartra, under my pages, and I have lots organized across a bunch of websites. So we're going to create a new one here, and I you can, if you have one that you just want to copy, that's good. But it's not that hard to start from scratch. So I'm going to just call sample landing page, and let's see this, for the heck of it, we'll just call it Kartra Whisperer page. There we go. And what site should we put it under? The Kartra Whisperer website. So often here in Kartra, they have a instruction, a tutorial at the beginning. I always leave this on. I usually don't read it, but it doesn't hurt to just go through and just read it once in a while, because there's probably a feature in there that you may want to use at some point. Um, it's a good reminder. Pop-ups, landing pages, X pages, everything in Kartra. It's a huge box of Lego parts that you can do anything with almost, and but we're just gonna go up fairly simple. This is an important distinction, is when you're editing things, it's a column mode and a component mode, and depending on what you're trying to do, that can make a big difference. Okay, going through the tutorial. So here we have a drop a section. And on the left-hand side, there are sections and components. And I'm just going to drop in an empty section here. And there we go. The next thing you know is it wants to drop in a column, which is under components. And I almost always will just put in a simple 100%. It doesn't fill the whole screen. It fills up about goes about 70% of the screen width on a desktop. And and that works out fairly well. And I've become maybe overusing, but I'm using a thing called boxes. Um, where do we go? Boxes here, and you can have single, double, or triple column boxes. And for this one here, we're just going to drop in a double column box, and um, without worrying too much about the formatting, I'm going to drop in a graphic here, which is quite often what I end up doing. And we'll drop that in. With this page designer, it's always it tells you where you can possibly drop something, and it needs to be green in order to drop it. It can sometimes be awkward to drop it where you want it, and you might have to futz with it, but it works pretty well most of the time. And let's go to images. Um, so here, there's a bunch of images already in there. I just gonna put in the canyon for fun because we're just most often it's going to be a some kind of poster that you've created, some kind of graphic logo or something that you put in here. And it's a good habit to put in the alt tag here, uh, uh, something descriptive. The more text you have, um, the better it shows up in search engines. This is intended for somebody who's sight impaired and they can't actually see the screen, and that will tell you what the image was. It's just a good habit to put something meaningful in there. And then here on the other side, we have a section where and I'm just going to drop in. There are all sorts of fancy stuff you can do, but most often I'll just drop in a simple text box, and uh, and then we'll edit here. Sample landing page. And I have a couple of favorite fonts. I like Laura, and I'm going to make this fairly large, bold faced, and just just put it there. You can make different colors, all sorts of things. It's a pretty good editor. It's got some quirks. Anyway, I just while we're here, I'm going to okay, is a demonstration of landing page. So here you if you make sure you've got it in text edit, and then change it to, I'll just change it to small. Don't need bold. We'll right left justify here, and then I'm just going to put in a space. And the next thing is we're going to connect it to a button. One of the weird things about Kartra is that we will need a landing page for this, um, is part of the sequence. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the button in. There are a bunch of different button styles that you can do. We'll just choose this one here. Uh, and if we edit it, um, I just got to say subscribe to sample sequence. Helps if I type correctly. Anyway, under style here, you can change the size of the button, and you can change the positioning on the screen, and also put in the icon. Uh, there are quite a few different things. I'm going to choose envelope here, and yeah. And the link here, this is the most important part, is we're going to choose an opt-in form. We've created an opt-in form. from before. And let's try something really simple. Yeah. Okay. Here at this point, you can edit all these components and change it. Since we're just doing a sample, I'm not going to fuss with that. Right here, we're going to connect to an opt-in form, and there should be something under sample. As you see, I've done a few of these. Sample opt-in form. There we go. And once you put it in there, it will show the input fields that we've configured, right? Uh, and then done. And so, assuming all of this is ready to go, we save it. So I'll publish live, and when you're saving the page, get the page link, and it defaults to having a um, random title here, a random. You can connect it if you got a custom domain hooked up to yours. You can choose one of these custom domains, or you can just leave it as your Kartra account. You will almost always want to have it linked to your custom domain, but I'm just going to just leave it to this, to the my account name here. Sample, sample, opt-in page. And there. So now it's saved, and we can exit out of here. And here's a trick. Your three-part sequence, which includes the landing page, the opt-in, and um, a thank you page, requires all those components to be built already. So one quick trick here is just to clone what you've done. I'll just call it thanks. And there's the tutorial that you can probably read through each time. And then I'm just going to call this uh, yeah, anyway, something like that, depending on what it is you're selling. If you got uh uh if you're delivering a product or something, you might give them further instructions. For example, look for in your inbox for access instructions, or you'll receive whatever it is you're going to do. And then uh and and from here you might want to put in something you want to do next. So let's just put in why not here, return to landing page. I would normally put it to my website or some other place you want them to go next. Or sometimes what I'll do is I'll put in a booking a button to book an appointment. Like especially if they paid for some large program, get them to make an appointment. Um, so that shows up under icon. You might want to change this to something else. And under the link, this is where we um, link to another page. And we're going to link here. And you have an option to send it to a URL or a Kartra page. I'm going to just, for sake of this, going to link it back into the page that we just created. Sample landing page. There we go. And you can have it open in a new tab or just in the same window. In this case here, we're just going to loop around. I'll probably use this to test. So we applied that. And again, uh, always remember to publish. Um, you have to make sure you don't actually lose anything. So we'll just call this sample page. Okay. So the one thing that I didn't completely configure before is, I'm going to go back to the dashboard, is in my opt-in form under here, is I hadn't actually created the proper landing page and the thank you page before creating it. One of the the tricks in Kartra is you almost have to plan out what you need and do the last part first, so you always have something to connect it to. It's like, you need all your Lego blocks in place before you can use it. So here I'm going to change this. Change this to Kartra. I just set it up to one of my other pages before, and let's see, sample landing page. Thank you. There we go. So, all right. So save and next. We had all this stuff. We configured this before. It's going to subscribe to a list, subscribe to ascribe a tag, and I've set up in a separate demonstration, when a tag gets added to a leads record, they get automatically subscribed to a email sequence. So anyway, so I think we have all of our parts here, and now let's test it out. So go into the parts here, landing page. Here's where you can get the page link. So I'm going to open that new page in a different window. Okay. And to share the tab, I probably should have showed you how to make this a little bit fancier than it is, but we're just showing the sequence. And so right now, if we do subscribe to the sample sequence, it pops up this little form, and we have to retype the code TBB4. This is J. This is random, and ta-da! And voila, we're back at the landing page. And then you click on the button and you go back. So I could go and test this a few times, and see what happens. So what should have happened, and maybe I should check that, is did I get okay, yeah. So here, okay, we'll show this tab here. Hope there's nothing too incriminating in my email. So I got a notice from Kartra that somebody had filled in the form. And then here, me as the person who registered, I got a little email, and it doesn't say anything too stunning here. So um, that basically is the basic sequence. Again, you could spend days and days on the landing pages and the thank you pages and fine tuning and refining and doing all that stuff. But that is the basic step. And that's something as when you're selling things with Kartra or doing opt-in forms, you will do over and over that sequence where you have a landing page with a button that connects to either a product or a service, and then a thank you page. That sequence of pages and actions will go over and over again. Anyway, hope that was helpful to you, and we'll talk